Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 272. I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here with Heather Stevens. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Well, thanks for asking me.
Now, for people who want to know what the KeithAndrewNetWork is, it's basically my way of showing people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. They should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still mount something no matter what. And we also have a special guest, Fifi.
Who's that?
Oh, her name is Fifi.
Hello, Fifi. Look at you. Oh, I have a bow on her ear and everything. She's adorable.
Can you hang on for 1 second?
Yeah, no problem.
Hi. I was just looking at my reflection and I noticed I was in the dark. And she wants to sit on my lap again. She's really a lap dog.
Uh-huh.
So, starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, let's see. I grew up in Ohio, and now I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I work for a consulting firm, and I'm an actress. I actually just shot a short film that I wrote for the first time of writing anything last week, so it's pretty exciting.
No, that's amazing. Now, before we jump into your acting career, I'm going to ask you some easy questions.
Sure.
And then
one more thing. I have a big dog named Otis.
Well, he's more than welcome to be in it.
He's not with me, but yes, he's a Chesapeake Bay Retriever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I haven't done my interviews as of late. I forgot to put on my timer.
No problem.
Because I talk a lot and I tend to do like 2 hour long or an hour long interviews, so it's always good to put myself on a leash. Like I said, I haven't done this as of late. I've been in a rut. I had a hard time finding people, so when I heard you wanted to do an interview, I was like, oh, thank you, thank God. Dude, this is what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, not working in retail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you want to be a talk show host?
No, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to pass this show over to you. Usually, I ask about childhood, everything, but I want this, any part of my disability, I hesitate. I want every interview to be different, so I want you to be in charge. So I'm going to pass it over to you. Okay. What would you like to ask me? You're building a good cause, you're supporting a good cause, making a new friend. So I'm going to put you in the driver's seat.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Where are you right now?
New York.
Oh, yeah? What part? Which borough?
You ever been to Woodbury Commons?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
Not missing much.
Well, honestly, I'm proud of myself. I just learned about all of the boroughs last week because one of the actors that was in my short film is from New York also, and so he was explaining it to me. I've been there, but I don't know a whole lot about it.
I'm not really in the city. I'm more on the outer rim, so I'm more near West Point in Central Valley.
Oh, that's really pretty up there.
It is. The winters are horrible, though.
I grew up on Lake Erie, so we got a lot of snow. So I hear you. Really cold, really snowy, very cloudy in the winter, but it's gorgeous in the summer. Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, we can just go back and forth, so I make it more interesting.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, who influenced you? First question is, who influenced you to become an actress? And the second one was, have you worked with any famous people?
Okay. I don't know that anybody influenced me to become an actress. I played pretend since I was tiny. I would take any opportunity at all to tell a story, get up front in front of people and tell a story. And when I was in first grade, my teacher wrote a letter to my parents and said, this girl needs to go to the local art center and take theater classes. She's a born actress. So thanks to her, I started taking lessons when I was 5 or 6. And I was in the theater all through, I guess, all the way through college. I went, in the summers, I would do theater. And then I took a break when I was starting my consulting career. And then I really missed it. So a few years ago, gosh, probably more than a few at this point, I joined a friend of mine who was working with the Georgetown Gilbert and Sullivan Society. It's at their law school. So they're really good, and they have a really short rehearsal and production schedule, and that was really what I needed, and really good quality productions. So that was so much fun. And then after that, I took a class on acting for the camera, because I'd never really done that, but I was interested. So I took a class on acting for the camera, and then I started working in film and TV and web series and all that sort of thing. And have I worked with famous people? I have been on House of Cards, where I got to shake Kevin Spacey's hand over and over for all the takes. But we didn't really talk. Let's see. I did Iron-Jawed Angels a really long time ago, and I didn't really interact with those actresses except for Lois Smith, who was just wonderful. But I was in the scene with Hilary Swank and Angelica Houston and, oh gosh, I forget the name of the other actress who was in it. But so, tangentially, yes. Only tangentially.
How was it? What was it like working with Kevin Smith?
Kevin Spacey. Did I say
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey,
Smith?
sorry.
Did I say Kevin? Oh, I meant Kevin Spacey if I said Kevin Spacey.
No, you did. I just got to both of them confused.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't put it past me. That could happen. It was exciting. It was really exciting. He was polite, and it was just a lot of fun to be in that environment. It was a very long day, but it was fun to watch all the camera angles change and do it from different perspectives, and it was a good night. It was a lot of fun. We were in the Oval Office, which was a lot of fun.
No, absolutely. Now, was there any funny outtakes or bloopers that you did, number one? And number two, what were some of your favorite outfits that you had to wear?
Not on those productions. I didn't have any funny outtakes. Have I ever had funny outtakes? Yes, I have. Where a line is missed, or you forget where you're supposed to be going, or you miss your mark and you end up like, here's the camera and you're like over here. That can happen, and it's usually pretty funny when it does, unless everyone's exhausted, at which time it's just frustrating. It's not funny. See, favorite outfits. I got to dress up as in clothes that were used on the film Titanic when we did Iron-Jawed Angels, because it was the same time period. So that wardrobe, a lot of those pieces had been used in the same movie, and I guess my dress was. So that was kind of exciting, and I liked the dress. It was comfortable. Let's see. I can't think of any other really special ones offhand. Oh, I had a really pretty red dress in my film last week, so that was great. I liked that dress too.
Well, the more I look at, well, by the way, you are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
But the more I look at you, I kind of see a resemblance to Amy Joel Johnson. You can honestly be her stunt double.
That would be very cool, except I would probably just fall down. I'm not very good at stunts.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, did you ever do any sports growing up? Were you a study nerd or party animal in college?
I was not much of a party animal. Growing up, I played basketball and all the way through high school. I swam, but not competitively. Let's see, anything else? I played softball for a little while when I was like 10 and 11. But the problem, my eyes don't work together. I don't have binocular vision. So because I've got strabismus and my eyes used to be like this until I had surgeries to correct it. And so I don't have any depth perception. So when that ball is coming at your head, you need to know when to put the mitt up and stop looking.
Yeah.
And I didn't always know when that moment was, and so I got clocked a lot. So that wasn't really my sport. But
I have poor reflex skills. I lost count how many times I got whacked in the face.
Yeah. Well, because I don't have depth perception, like I'll misjudge walls sometimes, and I'll knock into my shoulder or whatever, and I'll clip a door or clip a corner. And there's plenty of room on the other side. I just misjudged it, so that's not infrequent for me.
I hear you. What about? Oh, go ahead. What do you got to say? Something?
Oh, you had another question. It was sports and the party animal. I was in a sorority in college, but I went to American University, and it's pretty strong poli-sci and international relations school. And even though we had fun and we definitely had parties, it was more a school, a bunch of students who wanted to work downtown. And so we did that also. So I wouldn't say American's not a big party school. Parties are kind of small.
What about? Well, I bet you and your sisters had a lot of fun.
We did. We had a really good time, no doubt.
Did you guys ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not a human pyramid girl?
I'm not a pyramid girl. We did not do pyramids. We had a bunch of fundraisers that were other sorts, but we did not attempt the pyramid.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
That's not a loser thing. Those are fun. We just didn't do them.
Would you be interested in doing one?
Sure, why not?
I'm trying to get, you're probably thinking, oh, it's just a typical guy thing. But I'm trying to get as many women together to set I guess, it could be a Guinness Book of World Records, but you know what? But I'm trying to do a record, so it's kind of like Guinness Book / YouTube record. So I'm trying to get as many women together to do a giant pyramid and different pyramids. And it's, there's hundreds of videos of Oh,
are there? I'll have to look them up.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said I'll look them up. I haven't seen those.
I'm sorry. And so basically, it's people doing pyramids, but they're not doing the ones that I want to do. It's basically you get an exercise ball and you just continue to stack up. And it's like, well, you do dog piles. Why not say, I give you a perfect example. You're teasing class. Okay, class, today we're going to set a 10-person dog pile. And you just keep stacking people on top of the ball. And it's like, now you got to hold that for about, 2-3 minutes. And then you go, okay, we did it. We're the first to do it. Now we challenge. You used to know like all those challenge videos, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's basically what I'm doing with the pyramid. So we're going to do all these different pyramids. That was one of them. I know, it sounds dumb.
No, it doesn't. That sounds like fun. It's very unusual. What is the record for human pyramids? Do you know? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Do you?
know in Japan, then they did 150.
Oh my goodness. A dog pile? 150 people dog pile on each other?
I don't know, they were standing on each other.
They were standing on each other? Wow.
I have to send you that video.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. Wow.
But, for the pyramids, if you help me with, I guess I would say about 20. But I think 30's pushing it. What do you think, 20 or 30?
Well, I think it would depend on how tall you want to go, how high up you want to go. If it's a pyramid that's got a really large base, I think you can stack more people up relatively safely. I'm just trying to think of how you'd get down. And all the weight on the bottom people. That would be really heavy to put 30 people on someone's back. So yeah, I think you'd want a really wide base so that would distribute the weight more evenly over a bunch of people.
Hey, well, while on the subject, and I know I'm a loser, so if you want to talk about something else.
You need to stop saying that. You are not a loser.
Of course I have it. My brother puts a lot of negativity on me, so it's kind of like, he's not very supportive. He's more of a jackass. He likes to criticize and make jokes.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. You don't deserve that.
No, absolutely. I just didn't mean to complain to you. I'm just opening up to you.
It's okay. Not a problem. Yeah, it's hard when you've got a persistent negative presence. That's hard. That's really hard to overcome. But you're doing it, right? You have that that influence in your life, and look at what you're doing anyway. So good for you.
No, absolutely. I do have one more question for the pyramid, if you didn't mind.
Oh yeah. What?
So if you were doing, I don't know, like just a random pyramid, where would you want to be, and what would be your maximum limit?
Maximum limit of how high I would go?
Yeah, how high in time?
Well, I think I would want to be on top. I think that would be the best vantage point where you could really see what was happening. And that I just think that's the most daring spot on the pyramid. I say that thinking maybe 6 or 7 levels up. Maybe higher than that, and then maybe I'd like to be somewhere in the middle. So for how long? A couple of minutes would probably be the limit, but the problem with that, with a couple of minutes, is the people on the bottom will have had a couple of minutes by the time the people on the top even get up there.
Right.
So I think part of the planning for this would have to involve ways to get people up high really quickly so the people on the bottom aren't smushed.
That's true.
Yeah, you got to load that really quickly, or else the people on the bottom are going to be miserable.
It's true. Well, do you think you have any girlfriends to be interested in that type of thing?
I don't know, but I'm totally going to ask around now. I'm totally going to find out.
Well, we have time. It's just something, down the road we should definitely work on.
Okay.
Put on a bucket list.
Yeah, all right.
No, I'm going to pass it back to you. You can ask me anything you want. I'm an open book. Yeah, I'm not going to hide anything. Was there anything you wanted to ask me? Or when I first approached you, I usually save this to the end, but let's have fun with it. I open up to you, so now you can throw it back at me. Okay. When I first approached you, what was your honest opinion on my talk show and of me? And besides having a pyramid fetish, that people like to joke about. I love that stuff. I always wanted to do one. But with that to the side, what was your honest opinion when I first approached you and the whole thing? What made you say yes?
I was pretty impressed, actually. I thought that it was a fun idea. I thought that you already had over 100 interviews by the time I looked at you, by the time you messaged me. And I was impressed by that kind of persistence and by that kind of quality, and the fact that you have T-shirts and all this other good stuff. I was impressed. So I was very happy to do it, and I'm really glad we finally did. That was all my fault that we haven't before now.
Well, you bring up a good point. I am selling my hoodie. I did try the T-shirt. But, I wasn't selling. But now I'm selling a hoodie. It would be nice to have an example. A booster won't make me one unless I reach my goal. So basically, it's a black hoodie. Here, actually, I got something similar.
Okay.
It would be something like this, a black hoodie.
That's cute.
Thank you, it's really nice. I got this at a US Polo. The only good thing I like. Basically, it has fur inside.
Oh, wow.
But basically, my hoodie I'm making would be, okay, without the logo. So it'll be solid black. It will have a picture of a tiger.
Oh.
And at the very bottom, it would have passion. That's the back is front. But now you look at the back, it would have my logo, the KeithAndrewNetWork, with the different tie-dyes and colors. And at the very bottom of it, it would say, never give up and prove people wrong.
Nice.
I know. Oh, go ahead.
Have you found a place that would print them for ones and twosies? I would try Custom Ink or Cafe Press. I know that Custom Ink, for example, will do small orders, and they will also set up your design so that other people can log in and buy their versions, not their versions, I guess, their own t-shirt. They can get their own t-shirt with your design. I know this because over the summer, my kids wanted to make t-shirts for their Camp Daddy because they had a week with their dad where he took off work and they just went and did stuff around town, which was a lot of fun for them. So they wanted to make camp t-shirts. So they made some remarkable t-shirts. It's a lot of stuff you can put on a t-shirt if you're trying hard enough. They were motivated. So these t-shirts, and we got one each. That's all we got. And that was, I mean, bless them, because they must have, I don't know how they set these designs to be printed on these shirts, but there was a lot to do with those shirts, and they just sold one each. So I know that they'll do it.
Well, while on the subject, would you like to buy one? Would your kids and husband like to be interested in buying one?
Sure, I'd buy one.
And, a lot of people say it's pricey. I wanted it to be $20 because of my logo. Mm-hmm. They're just trying, it's like, whoa, it's very high quality. Okay.
Well, the more colors you use, the more expensive it gets. Like, it depends on how many colors you're using and the shirt you're using too. That's what I learned.
Well, the front is black, solid black for the base, like the pyramid. So right. It's got to be solid black.
Okay.
The tiger's white, so white's not a color. And
well, they count it as a color. It's an ink color, right?
True.
Okay.
And the word passion is in the word white. The only one that would be expensive is the logo, KeithAndrewNetWork, because it's black, orange, red, blue. But the words never give up and prove people wrong. It's white, so it's.
You might want to think about making doing the logo in white as well. And I know that's not your regular logo. Yeah. I've seen your logo is really kind of cool. But for the black on white, I think it would be, or the white on black, I suppose. I think it would be interesting to see how that looks. A, because it's easier, but B, because I think that it would be one of those, like a photo negative, right? I think that would be kind of unexpected, especially if all the rest of it's in white on black. I think that might be kind of awesome, but I don't know, maybe it won't show everything if you just do one color. But it's worth a look.
Hey, if you would love to work with me, I really appreciate it. I'm doing all of this myself, and I want to apologize to you. It's when I first started, I was hesitating. I share my room with my brother, and I'm not. I hate being micromanagement or micromanaged. Mm-hmm. So when people are watching what I'm doing, it throws me off. So that's
I didn't notice. So I think you're doing great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now the interview's now moving because I'm now comfortable, but it's kind of bothers me having someone to watch. It feels like one of those ant farms. You're just staring at the ant and you're tapping at the glass and the ant's not doing anything.
Right. Oh yeah, I definitely, feeling like you're under scrutiny makes it tougher, for sure.
No, absolutely. Now the next question I was going to ask you, actually one more, then I'll pass it back to you.
Okay.
Was about the start of blank. Who how did you get, for people out there who want to become an actress, what were the steps you had to take, number one, and is there any agent, trying to find the words for it, is there any agencies out there that you would recommend, saying they helped me out a lot, if it wasn't for them I wouldn't be where I am?
Yeah, you can do this anywhere, and it's becoming even more so. Like, when I grew up in my little town in Ohio, there wasn't really an opportunity to do larger projects because, the technology wasn't there. But now people do what's called self-taping, where, your iPhone, you can tape yourself in an iPhone with a plain background, and then you can send it in when you see casting calls. There are some websites that you can keep an eye on, looking for breakdowns that look like you or sound like you, or something that you can do, and then you create a profile on them, and then casting directors can find you as well. Let's see. So, like in the DC area where I live, there's a couple of great websites that are for the DC metro area largely. Brian Dragonuk has one, and the Actors Center has one. But then there's also, if you're looking for the national ones, there's Actors Access and Casting Networks and 800 Casting and Cast It, and who else? There's a couple more, but those, Actors Access is really the biggest one that I know that every time a casting director says, well, I use all these, Actors Access is always in that list of ones that they look at when they're looking for people. So that's what I would do. If I wanted to get started, I would go find a photographer, get a really good headshot. It should look like you. And then you put that online and start training. There are ways to Skype train as an actor if you don't have anything nearby. You can look for people who will train you over Skype. But the best by far is to find an acting teacher in your area somehow, and then get some training. And because at first you'll be posting your headshot with really no credits. But that's not a problem. And there are still especially if you have the right look or the right skill set, that will not be an impediment to getting started. And there's smaller projects that need people, and so there's there is somebody filming all the time. But there's a lot of television shows right now between the networks and the cable and the streaming services. There's a lot of work out there.
It's funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, so go grab some.
It's funny you mention streaming, and that actually brings up two subjects, if you don't mind. Streaming, I tried reaching out to Hulu and Netflix. I would love to have my show on there, but but at the same time, YouTube is now doing something called Redbox or Red Card or something.
Right, I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
I think it's kind of like Netflix, where you can watch TV shows and you can watch movies.
Oh, isn't that the one where you don't get commercials if you have their service?
That's Hulu.
I know, but I thought that's what YouTube was doing too. YouTube was doing too.
Actually, I take that back. Hulu has about 2 commercials. I think it was Netflix without commercials. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah. Have you looked at Amazon?
Working on it. Maybe they would be interested.
Yeah, I think one of my teachers, I did a one-woman show that he wrote and directed, and those are going up on Amazon for Amazon streaming. And I don't know if he got them to agree to do it, or if you can just publish what you've got to Amazon and people can buy it or not. Like self-publishing books.
Right.
I'm not sure how that works, but I would take a look at that, because I'm not sure that you have to have some sort of deal with them like you would with Netflix or Hulu. I think that on Amazon, you can package it. You could package, since you've got so many interviews, you could do volumes, right? Like you can do volume 1 through 10 or 1 through 20, depending on how long they are, and package them that way so that you're not trying to sell 200 individual videos. Because I think that would be a lot.
That's true. And to be honest, some of my interviews are really good. Some are really bad. And sometimes it's the person who I'm interviewing. Sometimes it's just me because my disability kicks in. But like I said, our interview started off slow. Now it's moving. I'm like a slow Apple computer. You know, I'm a little out of date, but I will eventually get to the point.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm not trying to live up to everyone's standards. You know, it's high respect. You watch Suits?
Sorry?
Oh, do you watch Suits? Or
No, I haven't. I've been meaning to, but I haven't had the time. I really want to. It looks really good.
There's this guy, Harvey Specter. You know, it's funny. You know, it's a big long story short. I wanted to be a personal assistant. If that fell through, I came across Suits. I wanted to become an actor. But, you know, actually, that's the next question I was going to ask you about money, if you don't mind. But basically, it was about, I wanted to go, but it was too much money. And the guy basically wanted $600. It's like, okay, fine. Then he wanted $1,200. It's like, yeah, I'm not an ATM. But going back,
what did he want the money for?
Oh, he was an acting coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That seems steep for an acting class.
Well, you know, while on the subject, what would you recommend? You know, you said you mentioned the acting one. You know, the acting site, do you have to pay for that? It's a stupid question, too, but
That's not a stupid question.
Do you think you have to pay for the really good sites to get something out of it, or do you think the free sites usually balances out? Like for you, what were the steps you did?
Well, a lot of those sites that offer paid services also, like for Actors Access, there's a subscription that you can pay for, but you can also just make a profile and put it up there, and you are visible when casting directors look for a certain type. Like you fill it in, like my hair is auburn and my eyes are brown and I'm this tall, and if they're like, oh, I need somebody whose hair is auburn and is 5'10", and you know, then I'll come up with everybody else, right? So, but you don't have to spend any money to do that. But they'll also send out emails with casting calls where the casting directors are looking for people specifically to submit, and then submitting sometimes will cost like $1 to submit it to the casting director, because everybody else who's on the site is paying all the time for it. So I would say you shouldn't ever pay a casting director. You shouldn't pay an agent up front. They get percentages of the work, of the pay that you make for working. Classes, yeah, you'll have to pay for classes, but yeah, I don't know that I would pay that much for a class around where you're living. I don't see what I don't know.
I know money's a touchy subject.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like $600 for what? I mean, was it one class or a series of classes, or what was that?
It was basically about, I think, like 6 weeks. It was basically Monday to Wednesday for $600, and he basically teaches you, and at the end you get a little paper thing. You say you're certified and you completed first one. And then you pay another $1,200 for longer classes. It sounds like a scam.
Well, if you're doing 3 days a week for 6 weeks, then I can sort of see it. But a certificate at the end, either you can act or you can't, right?
Right.
Either you can or you can't. And yes, you can learn if you can't, but no one's going to ask you for your certificate of completion. No, I mean, people get degrees, go to college for actors, and that's great because you do learn a whole lot, but no one's going to ask you for your diploma when you show up to audition. So,
that would be pretty funny, though.
It would, but I would be out of luck because my diplomas are not in acting. So, you know.
I didn't mean to impose on you with the money, but
You're not imposing on me. So that's my advice. For some of these services, at least at first, I don't know that I would join the paid services at first. Yeah. I would, a project casting has a lot of, they have a lot of extra work that they put out there, and extra work is really good when you're getting started because you're on set. You're on set, you see how sets work, you see what all the extras they chit-chat with each other. You learn a lot about what's going on in the city, what's going on around you. It can be a lot of fun. It can also be really, really dreary and boring. So it gives you the full gamut of experience if you're an extra often enough. And that's where everybody gets started, right? You start there, and then you know something about being on a set, and you've worked on a show, and then student films. Students often are looking for actors, and they're not paying anything, so they need the newer actors usually, unless they've got a compelling story and they can talk someone into it. But that's where you get started. That's right. You find the students, and you get clips of your acting, and you can post those and say, look, I can act. I've been in real films. And what you can make your own web series, right? You can write your own web series, do 6 episodes, and you can write any character you want, right? Or a short film, a 10-minute film. You can write any character you want. You can write any adventure you want. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. And, there's your reel, right? There's your demo clips, for sure. How old is the dog? The dog is really cute.
Oh, Fifi, we got her back in 2007. My dad went for his first heart replacement. He has multiple prolapse. So when he was recovering, my brother and his ex-wife came over. He's like, "Oh, we got a gift for you." And at the time, they were naming her Cookie.
Okay.
So from Cookie, we name her Fifi.
Also cute. Well, I like her. She's really cute. What else do you do when you're not making videos and interviews? What else do you do?
Well, before I give you a perfect example, I'm really rusty at this because it's been a couple of weeks since I did the interview. So I hope you're enjoying yourself.
I am, very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. In my free time, I'm trying to pay off my credit card. So I got a retail job. I won't mention it on here, but I can tell you afterwards. Basically, I'm just working there. I hated it in the beginning. Now it's starting to grow on me. But
I can see you being really good at that, because you're so personable and you can talk to anyone. If 200 interviews don't show that you could talk to anyone, nothing will, right? So I can see why maybe you wouldn't like it, but I bet you're really good at it.
When I first came to you, what was your first impression after doing the interview? I'd like to see it from your point of view. There's some parts where you smiled, and there's some parts where it looks like I struck a nerve and the smile disappeared. So I just want to know from your point of view, what is your feedback? And like I said, that's why if you can say anything you want.
I don't have any corrections for you. I mean, you were completely professional. You reached out to me in a professional forum, and then when I gave you my email address, you followed up, and I've got a low battery on my computer, so we're going to have to wrap this up, or it's going to wrap up for us. I didn't bring the cord with me. I think that you handled yourself very well, and I think that you should explore public access. I think that you should explore bundling these and seeing, I don't know if you need any permission to bundle them and put them on Amazon or not. That's another question for your lawyer.
Well, as long as I do not sell it for money, I can do whatever with it.
Yeah, but if you put it on Amazon, you're going to make money.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, you probably have to ask their permission, but you have mine. Go ahead. Yeah, go do something with this. You've got enough practice now, and you know, it's not necessary. It's not. This doesn't have to be an interview with a guy with a learning disability. This is an interview with a guy who's a friend. You know, making a new friend and having a relaxed conversation. That's the best interview, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so go for it. Take us somewhere.
So wrapping up our talk show, and stay tuned for After the Air. And now wrapping up, I just want to say it was a real honor to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you some more.
Yep, me too. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.